Have you ever gone to the freezer planning on just having a couple spoonfuls of ice cream? So you do, and then you walk away, and then you go back for a couple more bites, and you repeat this pattern, this vicious cycle, and before you know it, the entire pint is gone. I totally get it. I've been there too. In fact, I struggled with this for a long time, not knowing how to overcome sugar cravings and why they happen. And here's the good news, it's not your fault. I used to feel like there was something wrong with me, and the women I work with, they say the same thing. They feel like there's something wrong with them, and they're ashamed, and they eat the sugar and ice cream and chips and cookies behind closed doors, and they don't even want to admit that this is happening, but they feel so out of control and like there's just something wrong with them. So here's the reality, it's not your fault. I'm gonna tell you the 2 reasons why you get sugar cravings and 2 simple ways to overcome them. And I also want you to know, food manufacturers, they know this. They understand these 2 reasons why we get sugar cravings, and they play into it. They create these foods that are super addictive because they know how it all works. And I want you to understand this. We can really short circuit their sketchy plan, and you can stay ahead of your cravings and in control. Hey, I'm Cassie, and I've helped so many women lose weight and keep it off and conquer their sugar cravings. And I'm gonna walk you through the steps that you can take to stay in control of your sugar cravings so they don't even happen. So sugar cravings are a result of one of 2 things happening, or both happening at the same time. And the reality is they're a biochemical response in your brain. So the good thing about this is there is something you can do to overcome these sugar cravings and bust them when they happen. So the first reason why you get sugar cravings is a result of your blood sugar levels being too low. So your brain is really, really smart, and it knows that when your blood sugars are low, the only thing that's gonna raise them is sugar. And this is why it's virtually impossible to not give in to the sugar cravings when your blood sugars are low and your brain is like, you need sugar. So of course you crave sugar, and then of course you eat it. And reason number 2 for getting sugar cravings in the first place is a result of not having enough neurotransmitters, which is a fancy word for brain chemicals. If you don't have enough of these neurotransmitters, then you're not gonna be able to prevent sugar cravings from happening in the first place. So the exciting part about all of this is there is something you can do about it. You don't have to keep living this way with these compelling sugar cravings. So I'm gonna show you a couple ways that have helped me beat my sugar cravings and have helped a lot of the women that I've helped along the way with their weight loss journey as well. So the first thing you can do is stay ahead of your blood sugar levels, because when your blood sugar levels are stable, you're not gonna crave sugar. When they crash is when you crave. So a lot of us women are riding the blood sugar roller coaster all day long. And what tends to happen is when we eat a high carbohydrate meal or a lot of sugar, our blood sugar levels rise, and then they crash, and then you crave sugar, so then you eat sugar, and then they crash again, and we get into like this vicious cycle. And if you know anything about riding roller coasters, they're really fun for a couple of minutes, but when you're on a roller coaster all day long, like that's when you just feel sick and crabby, and it's hard to focus, and you just don't feel like yourself. So what we want to do is want to get off the blood sugar roller coaster and keep our blood sugar levels nice and stable. And the way to do this is by eating every few hours, so you're not just waiting for long periods of time, but then also making sure you're eating plenty of fat, because the fat actually helps slow the absorption and assimilation of any of the carbohydrates or sugar that you're eating. So simply eating every few hours and making sure you're eating fat, like avocados, butter, coconut oil, nuts, seeds, olives, olive oil, all the good healthy fats, even the saturated ones. This is gonna help keep your blood sugar levels stable so you don't crave the sugar. So part 2 is this. If you're anything like me, you can eat all the right foods at all the right times and even eat in a way to keep your blood sugar levels stable, but you're still gonna crave sugar. If you're someone like me, I would never expect you to just stop eating sugar, because sugar cravings have nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with balancing out your brain chemistry. So if you fall into the camp of someone who doesn't have enough of those neurotransmitters in your brain to really resist craving sugar in the first place, then you're gonna need to supplement to support the underlying reason why you're getting the sugar cravings. Because the reality is, if you're super sugar sensitive, your body won't be able to break free of those cravings without actually addressing the underlying reason why they're happening in the first place. So some people can get over their sugar cravings by eating every few hours and eating plenty of fat, and we certainly should all be doing that, especially if we're trying to lose weight and keep it off. That's one of the first steps to losing weight, is balancing your blood sugars, because that's when our fat-burning hormone called glucagon comes out and burns fat for energy. But if you're someone who's super sugar sensitive, you're definitely gonna need to support the production of the neurotransmitters in your brain to balance out your biochemistry so you don't get these compelling sugar cravings. So this is something I really learned the hard way. I tried to manage my sugar cravings with food alone until I finally realized there's gotta be more to it. The number 1 supplement for beating sugar cravings is called L-glutamine. What I love about this supplement is it's basically the most natural supplement you can take, because L-glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in your body, and it works in a couple different ways. So it helps to prevent sugar cravings from happening in the first place, and if you do get a sugar craving, you can actually use it on the spot to bust that sugar craving. I was just amazed when I first found this supplement, and all the women that I've worked with seem to call it a miracle. So L-glutamine helps to prevent sugar cravings from happening in the first place by boosting that production of those neurotransmitters, those brain chemicals that you need to prevent craving sugar. And then the other awesome part about L-glutamine is it actually works to heal and repair the structural lining of your gut, which is what happens as a result of eating a lot of sugar over time. If you're like me and you were addicted to sugar for years and you've been giving into those cravings for a long time, think about sugar as like making little cuts inside your intestines. And then what happens is that causes inflammation, which can cause weight gain. So if you're also on a quest to lose weight and keep it off, you're definitely going to want to be using L-glutamine, not just to bust sugar cravings and not just to prevent sugar cravings, but also to heal that inflammation so your body can put all of its energy towards losing weight and giving you energy. So that's what I love about L-glutamine is it actually helps to give us energy, it helps with weight loss, and it definitely helps with sugar cravings. So I know I've been throwing around a lot of big words here today and a lot of information, and for the sake of you being able to retain the information and take action so you don't have to struggle with sugar cravings anymore and you can lose weight and keep it off, I actually put together a guide for you called 12 Steps to Overcoming Sugar Addiction, and I give you a few steps today, but even if you just take away like one more step, it's going to completely change your life. So go ahead and grab this free guide with the link below. I went in depth on a lot of the stuff we talked about here, and this is just going to totally help you to bust these sugar cravings for good.